Okay, so what we're gonna do, I want to texture this, and when I texture it, first thing I'm gonna double check. Did I do all my utums on this thing? Whoop. Open it up and check it. All my utums seem to be laid out. I have some things that are overlapping and things like that. Done in previous demos. And anything else is a problem in here. One thing I gotta watch out for, potentially, I got a bit of history, so I'll use that edit, delete by type, non-deformer history. And that'll get rid of them most of the times. If not, I might have to delete the history. If you want to make sure things come into Mari, soften edged, I used that already on this. Which I just double check. Actually, I didn't. God damn it! Mesh display, soften edge. Okay, and then I gotta go back and select everything again and hit edit, delete by type, non-deformer history. You could also, if you want to see it smooth, you can take it and hit mesh smooth, just don't save it. Okay, you can smooth it and then take it over to Mari, or you can smooth it while you're in Mari if you really need to. Okay, so I'm going to select everything. Make sure that in your plugin manager, that OBJ export is on, auto load and loaded. Okay, and then I'm going to go File, Export Selection, and I think I've already done this a couple of times. So, Claw Mari texture, I'll use that one. Oh, there's Claw 2019 Mari. Okay, great. And I'll hit Export Selection, and I'll copy over that one. Okay, and so that's out of here. So I'm going to open up Mari. And in Mari, when it opens up, remember, if there's any kind of problem here, Mari usually wants an empty folder someplace. So put it on, find a place to plug in an empty folder, and then accept that, and you should be fine. I'm gonna hit New, and when I hit New Project, we get Path. I'm gonna go find that thing, and I put it in my G drive. And who am I? In here. I do believe I put it in here. Okay, great. And this over Claw 2019. Okay, great. Open. I'll hit Create New Project. Okay, it takes a moment. Come on, just a little bit faster. Okay, great. And I'll hit Ortho UV so I can see what the hell I'm doing. Okay. And remember, if anyone's, if there's any problems here, I always find when you're moving things around, in the preferences, navigation, control type Maya makes your life a lot better for when you're moving around objects. And then let's just see when I'm over here, you can see all my utums. If you right click, you can get to display properties. So if you need to see your wireframe for any reason. Okay, we should be good. One thing I didn't set up for this demo, I didn't set up the textures. I'm going to pause for a second. Okay, so I'm just going to go and open up my image manager, and there's a little tack on the side that you can hold. It'll hold the panel open, or you can click this here and it'll have like an auto panel thing. I've kind of noticed I just like the tacks. I can drag things and drop them from Explorer directly in here, and that's what I'm going to do. And I didn't do the other one. Let's drag that one in. Okay. So what I like to do is start off with, let's move this over here. I'll go into layers, and you can rub these on, and you can spend, it seems like it's a lot of time to rub everything on. So if I want to put down a nice base layer, so I've got my layers here. Let's move this down a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to right click here, and I'm going to add a procedural projection, triplanar projection. Okay. And it's going to take a second. And then when it does that, it puts this thing in. I wonder if it's going slow because I'm recording. It seems, oh, you bastard. Layers, tack. Tack, 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 tack. Okay, great. And I'm just going to, maybe we'll put the corrosion on first, so I can just drag that and drop it into this front, top, and right side. Okay, and you can see if I move this, I hate that auto docking. You can see it's tiling over and over and over again. If I go and I scroll up here and take the world scale, and I can make that, I'm going to guess 30. Okay, and that got me pretty close right away. 30, 40, something like that. You're just looking to make sure that this doesn't give you anything that looks really distinct, right? Maybe I might take that up to 40. You gotta watch out, because if you crank it up too high, it won't look right. I'm gonna say that looks decent. I could have more corrosion and stuff like that, but I'm gonna use that as my corrosion layer. Okay, great. And then I'm gonna do the yellow one. Before I do the yellow one, I kind of noticed that this texture is, there's some really distinct features on it, so I just want a little bit of it. If you hold down Shift, you can make a square selection, and I think I'm gonna pick right there. I'm gonna say that's great. I'm gonna hit Enter, or not Enter. Sorry, I gotta hit this little button up here. It's probably a hotkey. I just don't know it. There. I did it twice. Actually, when I hit Enter, it did it. I'm going to go to the triplanar, and I'm going to make another one. Procedural projection, triplanar, and I'll take, actually I don't need two of these, right? So I'm just going to go in and open, run script view, close. What if I just take this thing and I just hit delete? There we go. Okay, and there's yellow, yellow, and more yellow. Okay, and then I'm going to go back up, and you can adjust each one of these images however you feel. But I'm just going to do this because it's going to go over all of them, and that looks pretty good. Maybe I'll go up a bit bigger. Let's get a 50. Yeah, I kind of like that better, so it's not too much tiling action. I can see a little bit of potential problem over here, but that's probably going to be covered up shortly. And I can take this projection. I could name it and everything like that, but I'm trying to go fast, so I'll name it afterwards. Maybe this one here, I'll call this yellow paint group. Okay, great. Enter. And then when you got this, you can do a number of things to this, right? You can hit this with an adjustment layer of any kind. You can clamp it if you want to change the hue a little bit. Oh, find the hue if I go in and do this. Okay, it's just taking a moment. A subtle change isn't bad. Okay, but if I go too hard, then sometimes I notice it doesn't look as good. We'll do this, just so maybe the corrosion will look a bit better. I'll just pump that color up a bit. Okay, and if you don't like it, you just turn it off and hide it. But the big thing I want to do is, because I got a group, I could do a bunch of different things to this triplanar projection that I've got. Then when I right click, I can go in here to layer masking and add a mask, and I'm going to hit reveal all. Now, this gives me a layer here that I can mask, and I can start to paint with black and white values. Okay, and I'm revealing what I've got here, and it's painting down. Okay, actually I don't know how I feel about that one. Also too, what have I got? My opacity's up, everything's cool. Just looking up here for the opacity and the flow. I always find the shelf here. If I go to the brushes, I want some kind of other brush. I'm liking that metal one quite a bit. And I'll just close that again. Great. And then when I paint, here I'll make my brush bigger. Remember, all your hotkeys are down here at the bottom. It always tells you what it is. And notice that when I paint, it only does one side. If I go to painting, I can go in here and let's close down all this masking stuff that I was playing with. If I look into the painting section here, projection front, I might want to, as I'm painting, maybe go through. And you can also turn on over on the side, there's mirroring, so I can turn on like an X mirror of some kind. Actually, I think this one's a Z. You'll see a funny little orange kind of line show up. You can see it right there. Okay, so I picked the wrong angle, so this is a Z. Okay, so as I paint here, it's going to paint the other side. And I'm revealing what's going on underneath. And now because I broke it up into layers, I can, well, I say, oh, I don't know if I like that. Let's go back to that hue shift right here. If I go to the hue shift, I just turned it on. I can say, you know what, these aren't contrasting enough. I can go in and do something else. And it shouldn't affect the other layer. I don't know if I like the green. So actually kind of affecting the other one a little bit. It shouldn't actually be doing that. Huh. Maybe it's just that it's picking up some kind of reflection, so it's getting it. Anyway, as I do this, yeah. So I can do more changes to this, but I'll hit this and I'll say it's fine. So I got this mask. I can also go and take the mask, and if you let's get rid of this for a moment. We're done with that for now. If I go and I hit the mask here and I right click, I can go into layer mask and I can make a mask stack. And that gives me a little stack here. If I click on it, it gives me another little floating menu that I can move over. And I can plug other things into this mask. So maybe I don't want to paint, maybe I want to do something that's a bit more procedural. So if I go over and I hit this one, basic, no, projection, procedural, fractal, let's hit it with, let's hit it with a turbulence. Bring this down so I can see what the hell I'm looking at. Okay. So I got the turbulence on here, and you can go in and play with the scale, so it's really small turbulence, and it's blending between the two textures. And if I go up to roughness, I can make it harsher, or I can make it softer so they blend in a bit more. I kind of like it harsh. Oh yeah. And I can play with the scale, find that spot that makes me happy. So maybe what I'll do is I'll keep it really fine like this, and then I can put on another layer on top of that. I can put another turbulence in here and I can make them blend. Or with this one, if I just start painting, right, I can start to blend in here and go, okay, I like it like that. And that's the black layer, so that's making it transparent through here. Let's go down here and take a look at this area here. So it's transparent. Let's flip it around. If I tap X on my keyboard, okay, so this will make this opaque. Actually, something seems funny, like I've forgotten something that I've got on here. Okay, but, and then at any time if I feel maybe I decide the turbulence is too small, I can take the turbulence, let's click it again, and then I can go and change the size so I can make it bigger. Back to this. Oh, it's probably because I didn't. Okay, there we go. So I'm painting it in. I guess I just wasn't hitting it with B for bake. When you're painting, you've got two options. You got auto bake and clear, or you got B and that'll bake it down. So then I hit X. Then I can take this one and make it really corroded through here. Really corroded through there. As I paint, I can hit X again. I can take it away again. Okay, make my brush smaller. I can spend a lot of time making something really cool, but for now, that should be good for what I intended here. Okay, so there it is, blending between two layers. That makes everything non-destructive. You can keep stacking these layers on top of layers here, and you can blend them together. You can fade them, like maybe if this one's too strong up here, if you want to expose a bit more, don't forget you got this little slider here, and you can fade it and blend them. There's so much you can do. Okay, so let's do another thing. The cable cords up here. I want those to have a different texture on them altogether. So what I can do is I have this open. Let's go to the select tool. And I'm going to select, let's turn this thing off. Boop. Okay, that's interesting. It's taking a second. Okay, so I'm going to select this. And you can see I've selected a, over here, I've selected one of the patches. Okay, so I'm going to select this patch. And then I'm going to go up here and notice whenever I do it here, it always gives me funny problems. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to right click and I'm going to go to the mask and I'm going to hit add mask from selection. Whoop. Oh, that wasn't what I wanted. I want a new layer first. You fool. Let's just get rid of this. Oh no, don't get rid of it because I'm going to create a new layer here. And let's just take that and I'm going to get rid of that mask. I screwed up. Went off on a moment thinking about something else. Okay, layer, take that, and then I'm going to right click layer mask, add a mask from selection, and I'll pop this one up on top. Right there, I gotta hit that funny little fine line just above the yellow paint group. There we go. Select it, and I might give that folder as well, and I'll call this like cable group. Okay, great. And again, I could name these things, and oh, and I put that thing on here, and I was smoking crack again. Just go in here and remove that layer mask. Boop. Do it on the group. It's always better on the group because then you can change things. You got more options. Down here, layer mask, add a mask from selection. Boop. Okay, and now I can switch back to my paintbrush, and my paintbrush has got white on it, and I'm painting a mask. I don't really care about that. We've got to go to the layer. So on the layer, as I paint white, it's painting right through to the other side. I'll have a nice white table. Or I can make it whatever color I want. Okay, and actually, what's going on over here? As I'm painting, I'm getting a lot of noise from maybe this. Oh, maybe that's the whole thing, is I'm using that metal brush. You could also do things like if you really thought about it. If you just want one blanket color on this, you could right-click and add a procedural basic color, and color will be applied to that whole layer. But we've got a mask on this layer, so if we want to change this at any time and go in here to the color, we can pick out anything we freaking well want. I like it dark purple, deep purple. Okay, and you can change that again later on. So again, you're getting tons of options when you do this. And you don't have to repaint things or anything like that. Was there any other ones that I wanted to do? I was thinking I could probably almost pick out like these the spark plugs or something like that. And if I go, there's these spark pluggy things, and what just happened? Okay, it scared me for a second. Let's go down, move this thing over a little bit. Base. And I'll go and I'll create a new layer. And I kind of move it up to the top. Boop. And then I'll put that into a group. I was just thinking that it would be kind of nice to break those spark pluggy type shapes up a bit so they're not the same. Here, I'm just going to move this over a little bit. And if I go in and I select patch. Boop. Okay, take the patch, and then let's move this back over this way a little bit, and right click. And if I go here to layer mask and I hit it with add mask and from selection. Okay, and I'm just going to go to the layer here, and maybe this one. I don't know, I'm thinking about what do I want to hit it with. If I brought up my image manager, I'd plug it in here. And I don't want those to be yellow, I want them to be some other color. Let's hit it with some like over here. And this time around, maybe I'll go in here, I'll drop it on. And I'll take this thing and I'll scale it down. Okay, and I'm just going to get rid of that. And I can rub this on. And you can see it's only affecting this one layer. Actually, I'm going to change the brushes. Shelf. Organic brushes. Big fan of the octo skin. Everyone should have octo skin. Also, too, like if I I won't hit anything else because I've got the patches on, right? So here now, those are going to have a different kind of color to them. Okay, great. And I can move that over. What do I think? Still not giving me 100% opacity. There's something weird going on. Yeah, because this should be 100% what I'm rubbing. And when I'm looking, got on normal. Okay, go back to layers. Did I do anything screwy up here? No. It's almost like the mask is only at a 50% or something. Huh. Okay, well, if I spend too much time worrying about this right now, I'm going to have problems. And I just blew it. I just went and I parked it over here, so it's baking down. Fool! Okay, let's go over here. And actually, it can only bake down on the spark plug, so I didn't do anything. So let's go and do this again. And layers. On this one. Something weird going on here. I must have changed the channel or something. I wasn't paying attention. Okay, and I'm just going to hit B and bake it for now. And again, if I want to, I can go in here to the layer and I can add any kind of like, what if I want to go and change the brightness of this thing? So I'm on this layer and I got a little brightness slider. The bright isn't working for me. Let's go make it darker. Okay, I'm going to stop here and switch to this brush over here. Anything else you want to say at this point? We're at the 20-minute mark. If I'm finished with the textures and I want to export them out, what I can do is if I go into the channels, I was going to show some other stuff. Maybe I gotta do one more video. Okay, but that's the basics of the color. I'll do another video and then I'll export it out. So I'm going to stop here.